What you missed.
Well of Ascension. I think that there are a lot of hints that Zane is spiked throughout the Well of Ascension that we don't pick up on purpose because we're not supposed to. A couple of those being the voice that Vin is hearing in her head is Reen, and the voice that Zane is hearing is God. But we start hearing Reen talk in Vin's mind at the same time that we start hearing Zane talk to God. And so we see from both of them that there is a voice that's talking to them. But because of the way Brandon has written it, we never assume that Vin is insane. We just think that she's dealing with past trauma or she has these doubts about herself. But really, they're right next to each other in chapters. Zane will hear God's voice and then Vin will hear Reen's voice. So.
Well, and unless you are really good at catching all of Brandon's clues, through most of the Well of Ascension, you don't realize that Vin's earring is a hemorrhagic spike.
Yeah.
And so you don't think Vin is spiked up until the very end where she has to take the earring out when she's in the well. Mm-hmm. And of course we find out later in the book that Zane's spiked. And
I feel like there was supposed to be so much more to that, and maybe there is that we just haven't picked up on yet, but it feels like such a casual aside that we find out that Zane had a steel spike right through his freaking heart, and then he dies, and it's just like goodbye to that. But I wonder, what else were we supposed to pick up on?
Another kind of hint that Zane is spiked is he is very, very good at steel pushing.
Yes.
Where like Vin is very, very good at listening to the elementic pulses as a seeker.
Piercing copper clouds and hearing the well.
Because of her spike, Zane is able to push very well. And he comments, I think Vin comments on it, and then Zane comments on it when Vin uses duralumin and steel. Stating that he doesn't think that she was as powerful as him, believe. So there was that hint as well.
Yeah. And then one of the things that a little bit confuses me that will be in a future video, the mists shouldn't like Zane, but there are definitely passages where they talk about how the mists swirl around him, but they're not avoiding him and keeping back. So that one's a little bit confusing for me, and I wonder if it's just because Ruin hadn't been released from his prison yet.
No, but when Vin has her earring in, she definitely notices that the mists act differently around her.
But not in the very beginning. In the book,
But she's not wearing her earring at that point.
In the very first book, she is. And she talks about, she puts it in, Kelsier tells her to put it in. Right. And then the mists swirl playfully around her, so it's got to have some connection. Let's look and see.
Maybe it's when Ruin is exerting power outside the well.
Yes.
We know that he is able to push himself out of the well temporarily, and maybe when he's doing that and his presence is more prevalent in the world, that Ruin's power or maybe it's when he's talking to them.
Oh, that makes sense.
Or like when he's focused on Vin or focused on some Marsh or whoever, and because when this is a spoiler for the next book, but when Vin is fighting all the Inquisitors at Creedic Shaw, Ruin is definitely focused on that fight, and the mists are not playing with her at all in that fight. And so I wonder if it's when he has his attention on people, or maybe just when he's exerting power outside of the prison.
Strengthening his connection with a capital C.
Mm-hmm.